Hi everybody, my name is Jen. Welcome to Law Hero, and this is where we look at exam papers, be it FE1, barrister, QLTT, and look at also legal, general broad legal issues that are important for specifically Irish lawyers, but are also of impact for other lawyers. So today we're looking at the property law exam, FE1 exam from March 2020, which was very kindly sent on to me by one of my followers. We have a bit of a change. We have some new examiners. So the external examiner is Ray Murphy and the internal examiner is Neil Maddox. Just so you know, it used to be Ashling Parks from UCC. As always, you answer 5 questions. So the first one was a problem question, and it was around adverse possession. Please always keep an eye on the years because of the 12-year rule for adverse possession. That's all you'll normally get. Rules around statute of limitations comes from the 1957 Act, so keep an eye on, the examiner loves some statutory provisions, so make sure you throw them in, and also refer to J. Pye UK case. So that was a fine problem question. Question 2 is an exam question. Answer A or B, do not answer both. And also be very, very careful around what the examiner is instructing you. So for example, in question 1, it was advise Tom, or answer A or B, do not answer both, or answer A and B. You have to be very careful around your exam strategy and what the examiner is looking for. So just be very, very careful around that. Anyway, I digress. Question 2 is an essay question, and A asks, discuss the manner in which the Land Conveyancing Law Reform Act 2009 reforms the law in relation to freehold covenants, and B, outline and discuss the various means by which one can acquire an easement aside from express grant or reservation. Very, very straightforward exam question there. Question 3 seems to be, I just see the word historical artifact, so I'm going to guess that it's finding, which is very, very easy, especially when you think of all of the lovely pieces of artifacts which have been found in Ireland, like the Ardagh Chalice and the Derry na Fleadh hoard. Be very, very careful here who you are advising. So we have Joan and Aoife here, and as to whether they can keep the found goods and if some other party might have a better claim to them. So there's 2 parts to that question there. So you do not answer both. Outline and discuss the law relating to contractual licenses. Your answer should consider whether such license constitutes an interest in land. Remember, licenses are quasi-proprietary. So, they're for the use and enjoyment of land, but they're not, ownership of land, they're just possession of land. Your answer should discuss whether such licenses constitute an interest in land and the impact that the procedural fusion of law and equity by the Judicature Acts had upon the type of remedies available for breach of terms of the license. Question 4 is another essay question. Answer A or B, do not answer both. Outline and discuss the manner in which property devolves in the event of intestacy. Intestacy, you didn't write a will. Your answer should indicate the respective priority of all of the possible next of kin. Unfortunately, you would have had to have that learnt off. As in the priority, the pecking order, if there's no will. Discuss the scope and extent of the duty of a testator as set out in section 117 Succession Act 1965 to make proper provision for his children in accordance with his means, and the case law is what colours this section. We're given, unfortunately, no guidance in statute. Question 5 was another essay question. Outline and discuss one of the following, and there's 3 parts here. Discuss the strength and protections that the 2009-2013 Law Reform Conveyancing Act afford to mortgagors. A mortgagee is the bank, a mortgagor is the borrower. How I always remember it is or borrow. Who granted a mortgage to a lender as security for a loan who have defaulted on their loan. Analyse the extent to which the family home is afforded special protection under Irish law. setting out the nature and extent of any such special legal protections. I have all of the sections set out under the family home protection chapter in my book. The next one is one I probably would have done as well. Outline and discuss how one may acquire security of tenure in rented residential accommodation pursuant to the Residential Tenancies Act 2004 as amended, Part 4 tenancy, as well as discussing the requirements that the Act sets out for a landlord who wishes to validly terminate a tenancy governed by the Act. As you all know, in June 2019 the Act was amended, and I have incorporated those amendments around residential tenancies in my chapter on the Residential Tenancies Act. Question 6 seems to be about a commercial lease. This tenant is not able to pay her rent and goes into arrears. Landlord seems to have behaved very badly, went and broke her locks and all of that. Commercial tenant, I have covered this under commercial leases, and yeah, basically the landlord acted terribly here, so she will have a lot to say. Question 7 is an essay question. Outline, discuss the distinction between co-owned property that is held pursuant to a joint tenancy and co-owned property that is held pursuant to a tenancy in common, setting out why this distinction is important. Again, this is covered in my co-ownership chapter. It's a very, very straightforward essay. Finally, question 8 is also an essay question. There was an awful lot of essay questions actually in this paper. It was a really, really lovely paper actually when you think about it. Answer A and B, and we can guess that this is going to be a Succession Act question because we always get 2. Concisely set down the legal requirements that must be followed to execute a valid will. We know section 77 and section 78, as well as other technical matters. So I mean, there's a lot you could bring in there, witnessing, all of that kind of stuff. That must be borne in mind when drafting such a will so as to ensure the testator's intentions are given full effect. Very, very nice. And outline and assess the Irish courts, so you have to be careful there, approach to admissibility of extrinsic evidence in the construction of wills. Again, a very easy essay question. So all in all, I thought that was a great paper. I'm sure everybody passed it, to be completely honest. It was very, very straightforward. And yeah, I'm going to be doing some more FE1 stuff. If you have any questions, please email me at info@lawhero.eu. Follow along on Instagram at lawheroirl, and email me and check out my website lawhero.eu if you have any more questions. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you want more.